Homesteader family, welcome back to the journey and welcome to this edition of the Sunday Monday vlog. If Max didn't just get up and move and make all that noise, I was going to say for a while I got rid of the Anatolian Shepherds, but I know you guys love seeing them, so I'll let you guys see them. They've been eating bones all day. Got Mickey Mouse over here. Max just went over there with Minnie Mouse, and then Chubbs is right here behind me sleeping. So Minnie was in heat, and I didn't want her to get bred. Mickey got her kinda, so I'm hoping she's not bred because I don't want her bred. But could possibly have puppies depending if Mickey was able to do anything or not. What's up, Johnny? How's farm? Farm is doing good, Chris. Just had a new baby goat born yesterday, a little baby girl. So I put that up on Facebook and the business Facebook, the Today's Homesteader. Didn't put it up on here. I was going to use it as a clip, but for whatever reason, wouldn't let it load. So I just loaded up some blossoms on trees that I took pictures of that I haven't put on Facebook yet. But while Minnie was in heat, I went ahead, the boys were fighting, and for those of you that don't know about dominance and Anatolian Shepherds, they don't mess around. They will fight to the death and tear each other up and everything else. So it was better to get the boys moved over to the homestead, chain them up. They spent several nights over there, which they weren't happy about, but had to do what I had to do to not have fights, not get Minnie bred. And like I said, the one night Mickey might have got her a little bit. I don't know, because he was with me and her back there behind that chair in the fence panel. I had Minnie in the bedroom when I slept to try to keep everybody separated and everything like that. And Mickey was in there. So not sure 100%, but basically in 2 months I'll find out whether she has the baby or not. Have my dogs encounter any coyotes? I would say probably in Colorado they encountered coyotes, because if you've been watching for a while, you saw that my dogs used to take off all the time in Colorado before I got the whole 50 acres fenced in. Minnie Mouse is a main culprit, and she's done that here too, and I've had to chase them through the woods here. I try, because I didn't train them from puppies, and I was having fenced in areas. I didn't do training because I didn't plan to have people come around, didn't plan to have visitors or anything like that. So I never trained the dogs. And in Colorado, Minnie would take off and the boys follow. Same thing here. She's done it a couple times. And now I'm working on training, because now that I got the homesteading family up at the front of the homestead, my neighbor James and Katrina have different family members moving in. So I'm working more and more with the dogs until I can get the fence up so they don't take off. And I don't have all the dogs off at once. But in Colorado, we had coyotes everywhere. Here in Arkansas, you can hear coyotes all the time as well. I did have, in 2020, when I was living in the shed on the homestead, I did have a coyote that I shot with birdshot from my shed door, which was during coyote mating season. The coyote came up close to where the dogs were. The dogs were barking. That's what got my attention. Looked out. Coyote was trying to come underneath the gate towards the dog. So I fired around a birdshot. Of course, from the distance, it wasn't going to do nothing. And the coyote took off. Never had the coyote come back. So I don't know if they've ever killed one. In Colorado, they may have. I know here they haven't killed a coyote. The only thing they've killed here are, they've caught a couple rabbits, which I show that in Colorado. They caught rabbits all the time that kept coming into the 50 acres through the prairie dog holes and things like that. They've caught several armadillos, which I've showed videos on that and some photos. And then Minnie Mouse went after the marmot / groundhog, whatever you want to call it, that I put some pictures up. She wasn't able to catch that. It has to be at least 3 of the Anatolian Shepherds so they can all work a zigzag to catch the animals. They've all tried to get a squirrel here. The squirrels are just too fast for them, and the squirrel goes around the tree. So them trying to go around the tree, the squirrel's always quicker. So it's hilarious watching them do that. Um, but yeah, so little by little, I'm going to get fencing up. Little by little, the dogs will have more and more space to roam. Today, they stayed home while I went. I had to haul water. I had to put hay in for the animals. And then I came home half a day, spent like 4 hours over at the homestead, came back here to the restaurant. I had to rake the yard up, get the yard mowed, get things set up because I opened Friday for the snowball stand. And this weekend's supposed to be in the 60s again. Today wasn't quite in the 60s, but I was so close to taking my shirt off because it was just such beautiful weather. Um, I mean, it tells you I'm mowing a yard. So to mow a yard, I know Colorado just got hit with snow. So sorry for you guys in Colorado, but that's why I'm in Arkansas. I don't have to deal with that snow, and anybody in Michigan and Wisconsin and North Dakota, South Dakota, everybody that's got snow might want to come to Arkansas where it's nice and beautiful. The flowers are out, the grass needs mowing, the leaves are popping. Have my goats ever eaten any poisonous plants? Possibly. I don't think so. I mean, they might have had some bites of poisonous where you need like to eat a whole bunch of it to kill, but if it was something that would kill them like on the spot with one bite, then no, because I haven't lost any goats to anything like that. Um, I've had to put goats down that break a horn from headbutting or catching it on trees, or um, if one gets caught in some type of fencing or something, and they cut themselves open real bad, then I go ahead and put the goat out its misery. I put the goat down, but I have not lost a goat where I've gone over and had, you know, 5 or 6 goats, or even 2 or 3 goats just laying on the ground dead from something. The key to that is some plants, you know, they just need a small little amount and it kills them. Here in Arkansas, there's not really anything bad except puruliment. I think that's the way you say it, puruliment. And I do have that on the homestead, and the goats have gotten some of it. But the key thing is I have hay out 24/7. I feed grain every day, and then they have baking soda, minerals, and salts. So if they do get a little bit of the puruliment, they normally have a full belly of everything else they ate, plus eating tree bark and leaves and twigs and everything else they chew on. I know I've had people talk about I have wild cherry on the homestead, which has arsenic, and there's actually some of them inside the pen with the animals. I didn't know because I don't know my trees out here. But then again, I haven't lost animals due to any type of like sickness like that. I did have one of my donkeys that I had to put down. Well, not put down. I was thinking about putting down. Got colic, and I walked the donkey and everything like that. And I talked about that in one of my videos, but I didn't have that as an issue. There's a guy named Mark Warner who uses his goats as pack animals. Yes, goats. There's a fine line on goats. You either love goats or you hate goats, and one day you can love goats and the next day you can hate goats, because sometimes they're better than dogs and sometimes they're worse than dogs, and they're trainable and everything like that. And sometimes they're really annoying. Sometimes they try to break out fencing. Sometimes they get into everything you don't want them to get into. And then other days they're going walks with me and not annoy me or do stupid things like that. So it's a 50-50 hate-love relationship with goats. But yeah, goats can be used as pack animals, llamas, alpacas, donkeys, pretty much anything you could trained to be a pack animal. Even the Anatolian Shepherds make a sled dog team with them, take them up to Alaska. However, I'm not moving to Alaska no more. I'm staying here in Arkansas. But to dive into this past week, what's been going on, the spring and creek that I showed on video, that ran for 19 days. Went over there today, and it's no longer running. So everything's dried up. The sun's been out. It's sunny. It's getting warmer. Like I said, this weekend we're supposed to be in the mid 60s all weekend. So water is starting to dry up. However, my ponds, until we get into the thick of the summer where it's really hot, if we don't have any rain, then my smaller ponds up top have water. Eventually, like I said, I'm going to try to rent some type of equipment later this fall to either rent an excavator or bulldozer, put in some ponds so that way I can have better water storage for the animals. And going to have to try to figure out exactly what I'm going to do there. But the focus is going to be turned into the snowball stand. Like I said, Friday, I opened snowball stand, so I won't be doing so much stuff on the homestead. It's going to be more stuff here. I did get all that seed that you saw in the last Sunday, Monday vlog seeded. I do have about 100 pounds, 2 bags left that I want to wait till the forestry mulching is done, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that. This upcoming week, I also, or maybe not this week, the following week coming up, I have the survey people coming out that the homesteaders are getting to survey the 30 acres for them off the homestead. So that's going to be surveyed off on the 27th. The 28th, I have my dentist appointment in Fayetteville at the VA. Like I said, it took me forever to finally get a dental appointment, but I'm going to go see a dentist after 18 years, minus one appointment to go get my wisdom teeth pulled. I haven't been to a dentist in 18 years. So first time in a long, long time, get some cavities and stuff filled and try to keep my teeth. You know, I'm not missing teeth. I don't have bad teeth. I know some people can't prevent it, but I'm going to try to prevent losing mine so I don't become one of those with a goofy look. I already had the goofy look without missing teeth. It could just be worse. Then I'll look like a West Virginian person. I don't want to say Arkansas because I'm living here in Arkansas. So everybody says Arkansas, West Virginia, Tennessee, all that stuff. But yeah, and then the forestry mulching got moved up instead of May 1st. They're going to be here April 4th. So that's going to get done. So I'm going to open up for 3 days, be closed down for a couple days, open for a couple days, closed down for forestry mulching, and so on and so forth. So we've had some rainy days, and then we had a bunch of really, really cold days. We got back down into the 20s at night. Daytimes were 30s and 40s. So I'm hoping we're almost out of it. It looks like in the next 10 days, we have one day we're going to get as low as 38. But it looks like we're going to get warmer and warmer and warmer. And hopefully spring is here. Like I said, I mowed a yard today. So spring is here in a way. Just got to get past the last little bit of cold days. Coming up will be the snowball stand, the forestry mulching, and then I have, I believe, one more goat that's due to have babies. And then I might have a couple baby cows born this summer. Like I said, I'm not good with guessing when I'm going to have babies, but it's possible. And that's pretty much it for this week. And then I wanted to go ahead and dive into my title, which is the boomers versus the new homesteaders. And I've had different people reach out and ask me why I rag on boomers, or I should respect my elders, and things like that. And it's not that I'm disrespecting the boomers, because you guys can't see my statistics for my YouTube channel. A high percent is boomers. And what I'm talking about is my numbers is like 60% female watchers. And then I have, out of all the watchers, I have 70% of my watchers are 55 and older. Uh, so that's not, I know 55, 60, that's not the boomer generation. However, um, I have a lot of older people watching me, and I say the boomer thing because I do have a lot of 60s and 70s and 80-year olds watching. So there's a lot of the boomer generation in there, let alone, I guess they could be not the boomer generation. I don't even know what they are. Same thing with millennial. I'm classified as a millennial because I was born in 87. However, a lot of people I went to school with stayed in their mom's basement until their 30s and late 20s into their 30s, and I didn't do that. And I had the work ethic of the boomer generation, not the millennial generation. So I like joking with the boomers because I have a lot of them that reach out. They help me with different projects. They give me some wisdom. They just call it a chat. Um, they send me emails, text messages, things like that, cards, um, handwritten letters, things like that. So it's not that I'm disrespecting the boomers. They're actually a big part of my journey. They're, like I said, 70% or 55 and older that are watching me. I have very few younger viewers, and that's fine by me. I mean, either way, whoever wants to watch, because like I said, this is just recording my life and seeing where my journey takes me throughout life when I get older. And I wanted to talk about how talking to one of the boomers that I have watching, spent some time on the phone and talking about technology and the old ways and things like that. And that's one thing for those of you that are younger than me. I'm 36, turned 36 now. The 36-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the 45-year-olds, we're getting ready to lose a wealth of knowledge. As the older generations pass, that knowledge is gone. It's not coming back because that knowledge is dying with them. And we need to try to look at the past because, like I've said before, the one thing we've always been taught that's true is the past repeats itself. And if we're not learning from the past, we're not going to be able to, do better in the future. And if you look back, yes, we have the technology now, new technology. But if you look at older technology, people did a lot better. For whatever reason, we're taught that we're the smartest we've ever been. We're the most technology advanced that we've ever been. And that we're smarter than we've ever been. And I would say that's probably not true. Um, I could almost guarantee that's not true because if you look back, like they say, cowboys only lived to average lifespan of 35 and stuff like that. I don't know how everybody's families are out there, but my great grandparents died in their late 80s and 90s. My grandparents, uh, on one side, died in their late 70s. My grandparents that are still alive, they're in their 80s. So, you know, they lived a long time and they were born way before year 2000. And you look at families now, with the cancer and the sicknesses and everything else going on, you're seeing people die as kids. You're seeing people die in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s. Um, I think the generations before were a lot hardier, healthier, and stronger than we are today. And that goes with the technology and the so-called advancements, because homesteaders back in the day were able to homestead and they lived that way. How many people can do that nowadays? Very few. And for that example, there's a homesteading channel out there called Homesteady, and they just did a survey of how many people produce how much food for how many years they've been producing, and they had thousands and thousands of people respond. And there's nobody producing everything on their homestead, not even close. Um, and yes, back in the day, they had trading posts and you bartered and traded and stuff like that. But you were able to basically survive without working 2 to 3 jobs and everything else. Nowadays, you can't do it. Why? Because everything is corporatized, and we've changed from, and that goes back to my great grandfather saying that 90% of change is bad, only 10% of it's good. And we've changed from the old homesteading way of the boomer generations and the older generations to the new homesteaders that are financing everything like me. I finance everything. Like I said, I've got a mortgage on the homestead. I run everything on credit cards. But how do you get that way? You can't. How do you get to a full homestead like they had back in the day? It was through generations after generations after generations. And those generational ties of families changing, not having dinner together, not being part of a family, not working as a family, and just splitting off and going all over, and doing that change of not wanting to homestead and wanting to go to a concrete asphalt jungle in the city, work 3 to 4 jobs a day, 12 to 14 hours a day, and you're not making any progress. Yes, you can flush a toilet. Yes, you can flick the lights on. Yes, your cup of coffee is at Starbucks for $7 a cup. Um, Conveniences and things like that. And it's a sad, sad way that the new homesteaders have changed so far from the boomer generation. And like I said, every year that passes, the older generation is disappearing. Every boomer, every older person that's disappearing is wealth, knowledge, techniques, ideas, just everything disappearing. So if you know those boomers that I rag on all the time, if you have some older generations still around that you can talk to, learn what you can, do whatever techniques that they used to do. Because you look at technology now, we have the newest technology and it's not worth anything. Look at like the new wood stoves. They say they're so efficient, but they're not. You look at the electricity, they're not. You know, the windmills nowadays, they're not as efficient as the older days. And homesteading, the whole setup of homesteading, the way we homestead in this generation versus the old generation, it's just, there's no comparison. So I really just wanted to throw the boomers a bone for once. Um, they know I love them, uh, but in all due respect, the boomer generation, the older generation, is where the wealth of knowledge is, all the good techniques and the wisdom. So reach out, learn something before the older generation isn't here to teach us, because you never know what you're going to need in the future. Just like when your mom and dad and stuff go and family members go, you always say, I wish I had one more day. I wish I could have asked them this. I wish I would have asked them that. Um, because we take it for granted and we let life pass us by. On another side note, we need to be happy. We need to stop being depressed. Stop letting the world events get to us. Stop watching the news if it gets you scared. And stop watching all these YouTube channels that do nothing but fear, fear, fear. You know, I say every once in a while, you know, go get extra food and stuff like that, but I'm not harping on it. If you're watching these channels every single day that harp, doomsday's coming, doomsday's coming, doomsday's coming, you're always in that mindset. And if you don't believe me, then I challenge you right now to go 2 weeks, 2 weeks without watching any of those YouTube channels, any of the news stations, any of the online threads or whatever they're called, where you get those type of fear porn things that are talking about doomsday, and go back in 2 weeks after you don't watch them. Go back in 2 weeks and watch one day of that news, and I guarantee you, you'll be back in that mindset of fear, fear, fear. Doomsday is coming. So if you avoid that and only watch it every now and then, but stay in the mindset that it's not going to happen tomorrow, it doesn't hurt to be prepared, but you don't need to watch it 24/7, 24/7. You're just a hamster on a wheel going around and around, and that's degrading your quality of life, your mental, your soul, you as a person. It just takes it away. If you had negative people in your life, cut it out. If you had negative family in your life, cut it out. I don't know if you know this, but there's like 8 billion people or more on this planet. There's positive people out there. You know, just like my whole family, I only talk to a very few people in my family because I don't do the drama. I don't do the negative energy. I don't do the negative comments, the name calling, and all that type of stuff. I'm living my life. I'm on this planet for a little bit of time. Same with everybody else. Enjoy every day. And luckily, you might hear it on one of these videos. But my notification sound on my phone, I did remember to silence it, but it is a Disney theme, which is a little negative. It's from The Lion King. It's Scar, and it says, "I'm surrounded by idiots." And then my ringtone now is from the Goofy movie, Eye to Eye. And I've been cranking out Disney down in the woods. If my neighbors hear it, they probably think I'm going crazy. But I've been smiling. I've been enjoying life on the homestead. Like I said, baby goat born yesterday. Just cranking Disney music because, as everybody knows, I'll never grow up. And I don't care if people think listening to Disney and everything is childish. Well, guess what? Then you can get old, have the creaky bones, and become a boomer. I'm going to stay young. I'm going to enjoy my Disney music. I'm going to dance, sing Hakuna Matata, enjoy life, enjoy the homestead, close up this last year of the snowball stand, and then really get cracking on the homestead this winter. I am going to try to do a couple short videos at feeding time over with the animals throughout the week because I still have to feed the animals. I'm only going to do the snowball stand from 2 to 6, so only 4 hours a day. So that way I can do a little bit at the homestead. If I have to mow the yard here, I've got some time to do that and then hop in the shower before I have to open and things like that. So I hope everybody has a great week. I hope if you're in a cold climate, remember spring's around the corner. I got to mow a yard today. I'm sorry that you're shoveling snow today. But that's life. We all make choices. Might want to come to Arkansas where the weather's a little bit brighter. So enjoy your week. Thank you guys for being part of the journey. Thank you to all you boomers out there. If you have any of the boomers out there that are watching this right now, the 70% of my channel of 55 and older, if you can, in the comments down below, put a paragraph, put 2 paragraphs, put a whole novel if you want to, of any type of information. All right, DT, you have a great night. I appreciate you stopping in. But throw in there any type of knowledge you think anybody in the younger generations should know. I'm not talking political, religion, stuff like that. I'm talking about things that can help homesteading. Any helpful advice, techniques that younger generations might not know, things we need to know, and just share that wealth of wisdom that you guys have from all these decades you've been here that we're still trying to learn and try to help us avoid the mistakes. Now, yes, a lot of younger people aren't going to follow your advice, but throw it up there anyhow, just so it's out there for future generations to help everybody out. And let's get back to being a community, not a society. Get out there, know your neighbor, help your neighbors, help people in need, not the people that panhandle to go get alcohol and drugs, but people that truly need help, people that, well, I help people, it doesn't always work. So do not continue helping people that don't help themselves. Try to help people. If they don't help themselves, then don't help no more. But be positive, bring smiles to people, help people if you can. If you see people with a flat tire on the side road, help out. You see somebody that's struggling to get groceries put in their car or try to lift something at the store that's got a disability, help them out. Do what you can, be a positive thing, leave this world in a better place than what you came into. There's too much negativity out there. Let's be positive. So with that, have a great week. Go listen to some Disney music. Be a kid again. Enjoy life. Enjoy your memories. And Hakuna Matata. And remember, like my saying is, live happy, live free. That's the only way to be. Have a great night.